Good morning. It's 9:04. Sorry, 9:04 because there's not an O or alphabet in numbers. 9:04 a.m. Eastern Standard, Florida. You see, I have been telling you all to get straight to the point in my videos, you know. And the question for me and other people is, well, why? It didn't make any sense, you know. How did these people have found me so easily, like they did, when I was nowhere near home? You know, that was another thing too. It really just didn't make any sense. It really didn't. You know, they say life is what you make it, but you have to be careful about how people be trying to make your decisions in your life when you're not even seeking them. As I told you, the people I was having problems out of, I didn't know them. I didn't put them in my life like that. I met them either because I was their teacher, or they was coming to my store, or while I was a physician, or while I was a judge, while I was working juvenile court, working at the juvenile detention center, while I was mayor, while I was all these positions, precinct commitment person, um, town manager, just all this stuff I did. I held numerous positions all while, having my companies and everything. You know, wasn't in anybody's business, but I held positions where I had to put my foot down in a lot of stuff and stop a lot of stuff. And I told you all when I got married, my kids' fathers went irate, even to the point they started saying that some of my kids was dead. I told you all about all that. They started this with other people with Smokey Robinson them and all this stuff. I want them in prison. I want all my children, fathers, in prison. Now the Fenoris claim my other kids dead except my son by Meech, the real Meech. All the ones y'all had been saying on here, Tom went to jail and all. I got kids by them too, but those are not the real Meech. Neither one of them are the real Demetrius Fenoris. None of them. It was all of them the whole time. Like I told you, all of them already knew each other. How? I do not know. All of them would congregate in the same apartment with the Emerson family, the Fenoris, Gary Elder them, Cheryl them, and Jackie them, and they go Keisha they call Blackie, and Lace them, and what's her name, Charlene Walker, and just a list, a whole bunch. All of them, Suge Knight and them, all of them was being together. All of them. On my property, I was on the 1200 block of my property. They was on the 1100 block. And what was so wild, they had already been around. How I found out because Billy Cook had told me, Sam Cook, real son. So, my girlfriend down what street? I said, to rent the 3-bedroom. How y'all figure, what is y'all doing? And I knew that David Ruff and them had something to do with it because I told you the first tenants I rented to was Zach and Pat. And they had David Ruff and kids that he had by some other woman. Zach and Pat want their mom and daddy. Yeah. And he didn't want his wife to know about them other boys. So I put all that together because it was kind of odd how Billy Cook and his mama them knew where I lived there too. What's going on? What's going on? How are you all down there in that apartment? How did you all feel so comfortable just to move down there? And then y'all hang with the Fenoris, all these other people that knew Evelyn them and all this stuff. Come on now. Come on now. I was never dumbfounded to the fact I'm taking notes and mentally getting all this together. And I told you, here come Diddy now, and Future, and Tori McLean, and this girl named Star. Her family knew what was going on. I don't know where they was from, whatever. So maybe Shonda let you move. How you feel so comfortable? They gotta let you move in a 2-bedroom. She was already sleeping in there. You know? What are you all doing? What are you all doing? What is it all? Man. The point is, I didn't know any of those people. Now, the only people who didn't hang down there was Boone and my baby daddies, his cousins. No, they didn't hang down there. They didn't know them. They said, who was there? I don't know. Papa coming around, all this stuff. You know? And that's my kids, my other kids' granddad. You know? Because he was wondering what was going on. What is going on? Him and his brothers, them, they, you know? Then they start trying to follow them. Now realize that the whole where they actually lived at, the whole block was their whole family lived on that whole block. You know, all them was brothers lived on the whole block. I ain't talking about my baby daddy them and cousins and all. I'm talking about Paw brothers them and all of them. They had the whole street. You know, did not really happen anything. It was the point how Smokey Robinson them and everybody else started trying to follow them, and you know that was taken care of. You know. So Papa started staying over my house more with me. Then sometimes I go over their house and stay. Mm-hmm. You know? But they used to be at my house more than anything. You know. Everybody was coming through line. They like, oh, we know you from her. He said, I think he said, and then he was like, no, nah, they know my brother. I know what's. He's like, what's my name? And she like that. He like, hey, I'm like, ain't this your brother? He like, yeah, that's my brother. He won't say nothing. Getting all that free fellatio and all this stuff. Yeah, all right. You know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was the oldest of the brothers, but he, you know, he looked kind of young. He used to have like a little gray beard, and I showed y'all a picture of him. But I had colored his beard and hair and all that stuff. He was blending in with his sons. Yeah, that's when everybody started seeing the resemblance. But now y'all know what happened. Y'all know what happened. Yeah. Now this is, you know, when Papa was around, my Uncle Jimmy, a pop up, all this stuff. Everything was kind of all right because they took care of the situations. Who the hell are you all? And they know certain people didn't know me. Oh, no, you don't. Mm-mm. And Michael Colden, Elvis' son, had to speak up. He was like, nah, you want in no classes with her? You ain't go to high school with us. When? What school? You know? Like I said, these things happen and it shouldn't happen. And I'm still puzzled why would the United States military kidnap me from my grandma now I'm in Jamaica, bring me to the United States and leave me on my own. U.S. Marshals always had my back though, for its weaponry, anything I needed to protect myself. Hey, they knew I knew defense tactics wrong. Defense tactics. They knew I knew that. No, they wanted to know could I aim. Yeah, I went to target practice and tore it up. Mm-hmm. The other man, they sitting out there shooting, or they hitting all over the bodies on the target, you know, on the paper. They like, dog, she ain't hit number one time. That man, look, he said, come here, y'all. No, I hit more than once. Hit the same spot 9 times. Mm, yeah. I worked for the U.S. Marshals. And they paid off my schooling. Yes, they did. They paid off that bill I had to when I graduated being a doctor. Yeah. One thing with the U.S. Marshals, you got to be ready whenever they tell you you be in deep sleep. Get up, let's go. You know, just executed this. You know, if it's 2 or 3 in the morning, we're going to get you. We're coming for you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, buddy. I could just been getting off at work at the hospital. Oh man, we got your stuff right here. Went in your house and got it. Here you go, your boots and everything. You finna suit up. Mm-hmm. Yep. Never know. You know they come and get you like that too. Yeah. People be asking me stuff why I haven't dated anybody really and all that. Excuse me. You know. Mm-hmm. You know you gotta investigate people who trying to be in your life nowadays. I'm not going through repetition, all that foolishness, and I be trying to make sure people don't know anybody I had problems out of. You know, people I wasn't even dealing with. They running around here in Florida, places I'm at, and let me tell you what they was doing. I have a Lyft driver, or Uber driver come get me. They going up to people, acting like I'm dating them. Oh man, I'll give up right now. I'll do this. Oh, what is you talking about? If you don't go on about your business. No, y'all didn't come away from Illinois and harass people down here in Florida on their jobs. And I'm the owner of the company. That's where they messed up at. And the drivers didn't know I was the owner. Because they don't say going to pick up the owner of Lyft. We're going to pick up the owner of Uber. They don't say that. We're going to pick up a passenger. So they handle the situations adequately. I applaud them. You know? Mm-hmm. You know? I don't know why this thing say music on. I'm not playing any music. Mm-hmm. But y'all understand my situation, my heartache, and my mentality. Because what was they doing? What was the military doing? What was the United States Army doing? Why they do that to me? Why they target me like they were helping me? Why they didn't help me in the hospital when I was in the hospital? Why they did not follow through and keep my mom and dad alive? Because I'll be honest, at first when I thought my mom and dad was dead, they wasn't. See, I didn't tell y'all. I've been breaking it up, and I saw some of y'all been like, they weren't dead. They weren't dead. Then you could tell about my story. The military failed me. My daddy was enlisted in the military. He had just really got in and got his company, and he was doing a whole lot, like I'll be doing, you know. Just when I was in the United States Navy, I was a ship doctor. I'm one of many that can carry an armed service gun on the ship. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. One of many that can carry a gun. Yes. Mm-hmm. You know, U.S. Army did me wrong. Why they do that? They let my mama and daddy die. They wasn't around like they said they was. They did not keep their word like they told me when they came and seen me in the hospital. I ain't give a damn no way. You know? United States federal government owe me so much money because there's all this investigations and way things extended out. People fell into bull crap they had nothing to do with, and all they had to do was keep their jobs, do what they got paid to do, and get on with their life and shake them people off of them because them people didn't mean them no good. Y'all didn't know Hachi, y'all didn't know Chris Emerson them, y'all didn't really know Jackie them, none of them. Y'all really didn't know Suge no more from TV. Y'all really didn't know Diddy them, Toy them, Diddy wife them, kids them, everybody that was causing problems. Y'all, you know. Then y'all trying to hang with some movers and shakers because they're some whores. They soliciting men and women, Alpha Lee Spinks them, and all the list just went on and on. As you didn't even know me. And all that argument went on. Kenny both started that mess. You and Duck, y'all walking down the street. And he as admitted to it. Duck was pointing me out. As you followed my husband, y'all did all this stuff. You know, because I was finna marry this man. And we ended up getting married. Had a beautiful wedding, a wonderful reception. Had a great time on that 2-week honeymoon. You know, all over some stuff y'all really didn't know what was going on. Oliver had no business being in my house. Had no business being in my business. He didn't know what was going on. He didn't know that Ali and them and the lunatics, all these people were employed by me. Oliver did not know I owned Universal, Warner, Disney, Atlanta Records, Motown. He didn't know none of that about me. He just hood knows. He knew I was a doctor. He knew that. That much he knew. And he knew I owned the property that everybody was hanging around on. He knew that. But still in all, he was dead wrong. He sit up there and go to my store, famous boy, talking about something. I'm going to talk to the owner, the manager. They're like, oh, everything's fine because they knew one thing we knew that City Spud, Murphy, Ali, Liz, want stealing. We never trusted Nelly. Nelly ain't never want to do right. You didn't care what he wore. And there's 3 of them that were saying they was Nelly. I'm sure y'all don't notice that. Another person that was involved in it before stuff got out of hand, Alpha Lee Spinks. He asking Troy Brown, and what's that our dude, and this, that, and that. But see, the dude they was seeing all the time, I used to be talking to too, was his brother. His brothers always was popping up and stuff. Troy was like, ain't this that man Alfred? I said, yeah. He said, I'm gonna be Alfred up. He always asking about you and everybody's business. He said, yeah, I say, I ain't Stonewall. I say, I told you how I met him, and I told Troy Brown, Troy Brown mama is that woman, Shirley Brown. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that song she was singing. Woman to woman. Mm-hmm. I had wrote that and asked her what did she want to do in them other songs. Yeah, that's Troy Brown mama, Shirley Brown. He said she deceased now. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everybody had a little part in the music industry one way or another. You see how when Smokey Robinson thought I was dead, I had my group I named Midnight Star. And Star even fussed because she was day one of the guys in the group. And that was like when they put the album on. How does the album cover change? Who was these people on the album cover? That ain't not us. First of all, they Photoshop and messed it up. The picture when it's showing like all 9 of us. Mm-hmm. But you could tell it's me. You can look at me. Look at my nose. You can tell everything how they was trying to mess it up. You know? Yeah, because Star, That's before she became a jerk and a half and doing forgery and all that stuff. But she used to do all that when we used to be singing and practicing and all that. Then another album cover come out that we had already did, like me standing in the car and all this other stuff. They like, what is this? She said, Smokey did that. Now, Star was that nosy. I can like keep running this. I'm like, who is these people listening to Smokey? These people ain't finna get paid nothing or nothing. And then he kept trying to come around like he running me. I had whooped Smokey butt so many times. Then I get a call from the courthouse. I'm like, Judge Williams, we need to talk to you. That dude Smokey Robinson, some about your property, his and all. I said, you don't own my property. He told me, you might as well let me have it. You ain't even really charging that much rent. Get out my business. You don't know what make me shake and move and why I do what I do and why I got the prices I got. And I'm gonna get on them people at them fast food restaurants. How dare you trying to charge somebody $9.99 for 2 pieces of chicken though, and one side and the soda? If they don't get off that mess, y'all been messing over me. Y'all been messing with my money. And the rent was cheap. I told you I charged $50 for a 2-bedroom, $75 for a 3. And anyway, I was in the process of dealing with HUD so it could be income based more because people had income. Now, you know, Thomas, so why you ain't charging nobody $400 a month for a 2-bedroom and you finna put Central out here? Get out my business. Stay away from me. How do you have any paperwork with my stuff anyway to take to the courthouse? You know? That man just kept on him and Alfred. Had some other property known as the Alta Side of Plazas. You know, that scapegoat you was trying to use, Junior, was a bunch of bull crap. You know that was my property. Here go Flodane Williams. Ooh, let him work. And this, and that. Here go Flodane Williams. Ooh, let him work. And this, and that. He know how to him because he started using cheap products. I ain't quitting. Oh, yeah, yes, you will. Oh, yes, you are. Okay. Mm-hmm. You know. Ooh, all this stuff just coming on her and all this is, you know. Today is a good day. Mm. Like I said, my mom and daddy weren't dead at first. Like I thought. They brought me back from Jamaica. End up in the hospital, all this stuff. Military end up there. One thing after another. Yeah, my grandma, I ain't even finna get into that, but they weren't dead at first. It made me feel like the military was setting them up for failure. They supposed to been following me the whole time. They knew what Barry Gordon was doing. When everybody was leaving, make a long story short, Barry Gordon gonna look at me and say, well, I guess you finna go and be with your mom and daddy now. But they got killed then. You know. Barry Gordon was in on everything. I lied about some of the stuff. Let me tell you what Barry Gordon did. He forged paperwork, stealing money out my daddy's business account. Barry Gordon then worked for my daddy at Ford Motors, and didn't nobody know him. It was Hispanic people there, white people there. You know, these people, you know what to do. They're making cars. I mean, even the janitors, housekeep, people that keep the bathrooms together, keep stuff clean around there. They didn't know Barry Gordon either. Work where? And they told him he better retire so what his bank accounts was, and he had to return that money immediately. He just kept it up. Acting like he helped me like I was stupid or something. And all of them just sucking on me all the time. Didn't nobody penetrate me or put nothing in my, vagina. Yeah, they used to be sucking on me all the time. You know? Rihanna daddy, Smokey Robinson and his brother, Barry Gordon. You know? And guess who popped up when they had me? I'm trying to tell you. My cousin Mystical Boo. How in the world time somebody doing something to me? I'm supposed to be somewhere. I'm somewhere I'm supposed to be. He show up. Boy, what's wrong with you? Where is you coming from? He be like, my Uncle Charles told me come find you, so I just rolled with them. You been here the whole time? Yep. Mm-hmm. Tell me, because I want to get sucked on too. Shoot. What? What, boo? Yeah, buddy. That little cousin of mine always found me. Boo. Yep. How much we argue, whatever. Here I go. Here I go. I want Uncle Charles to get me. And Charles kept asking, how do you keep getting in touch with Smokey Robinson and all that? And he asked him, how did you get that what? Oh, they was outside. And I just got in the car with them and told me, well, show me what shit so I can try to get need some money. So I said, yeah, get some money for all. Let's get our checks and steal this and steal that. Boo, my cousin Boo Mystical wasn't no great thief or nothing. Nope. No, he stole some of my clothes before. And them girls in them videos, that was my stuff them girls was having on. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now that he done did. Oh, he used to be all right at one time. Yeah. He flipped the script on me. I told him, man, but I had asked. He probably was keeping an eye on Juvie now. And I asked his son now, what's where my daughter Destiny at? What Destiny at? Where is Destiny at? What shit? And all while Juvie was out here doing stuff, he running into my family. And not knowing those people, really some kin to me, who he thought was some kin to me, weren't no kin to me. You see how that worked without nobody even saying nothing. Mm-hmm. Now, Juvie got a brother. I showed like one of the videos on I was at the show at my club. He was doing a show at my club called Club Casino, and it's known as the Beano. Mm. And he on stage with that bird looking a little bigger. That was way back in the 80s. That's Juvie. But he got a brother. When you see on the video, when they talk the hot boys and all that, all real skinny, that's his brother. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A lot of people got brothers look like them. They just all different sizes. Yeah. Okay, that's what's going on. My other child I'm looking for is by Plies. He kidnapped our child. That's parental kidnapping. I didn't tell him I ain't seen my baby since he came on my womb. Nurses like he brought him to the hospital. He did this. He did that. Where's my son at? He go T-Pain up. Man, where you at? Where you at? His dad and him. Where you at? Yeah. Same other one that called himself Big Meech. He my height for real. This one, you know, got the Instagram page. I got a daughter by him. He better he. Hey, where she at? He kept bringing some other little girl, talking about that was his daughter. That's his sister daughter. When I had my baby, that girl was already 9 years old. Had her in the 80s. Where she at? And all the kids had been looking to tell Tom come, so we know Shonda gonna hook us up. Mm-hmm. And Tom, I don't care how long it take. You always could spend $100,000. We had to find our family. Mm-hmm. And that's what Plies brothers used to be saying. That's our family, man. Where he at? Daddy, he messing old family, man. Mm-hmm. And I wish I was older, you know. Mm-hmm. Then one day, his brother did find my son. He said, "Here we go. You think this him?" I said, "Oh, he looked like, yeah, that's my baby." And while he was handing him to me, Plies had to ran to my door and ran back out my door. And his daddy right there trying to snatch him without trying to slam him because he holding my baby. He run down the street, run the same apartment that Suge them be in, ran out the back door, him and the line miner again, hop in the car with somebody. Come on now. Come on now. How that was prepared like that? And he crying, the boy talking about, Dad, she was finna give me $100,000 for saving our family. The Plies almost got, his life ended too. A serial killer had caught Plies. He was screaming and hollering for help. I ended up just walking in on something. At my KFC restaurant in Fremont City, Illinois, I walked in on something. Just coming to check, make sure the door's closed, locked, secure alarm on. With my kids. All right. I'll tell y'all later. I'll be back though on her. I gotta let this phone charge. I ain't had it charged since early